All right, on to more paper dolls, as we call them. Again, learning how to draw with vectors using the pen tool, and we're going to start drawing different characters similar to drawing any vector tool or any vector drawing software to run laser, plasma cutter, CNC, all sorts of things. It all works the same way. So here we go. We are going to uh, do a character from, it's called BT21 and it's called Cooky. And this is an easy one to start off with. So I'm going to go to images and I am going to use this one right here. Looks pretty good. Let's see. There we go. We can grab it nice and easy. So we open it up, right click, copy image. And now I'm going to open up Adobe Illustrator. And we're going to pound this one out nice and quick here. Let's open up on my other screen. So new, we're going to use that custom one that we've already set up. If you don't have it set up, here are the settings for it over here inside. And we will create. Now we're going to go to edit and we're going to paste in that image. And the image is nice and big. I'm going to click on it. I'm holding down Alt and I'm using my scroll to zoom out. I'm going to hold down Shift to keep it in proportion. Left click and drag. And then I'm just going to, I've deselected it, so we're good to go. So I'm going to lock that layer and I'm going to add a new layer on top of it. And that's the layer that we're going to work on. So hold down Alt, scroll in on it, hold down spacebar so I can pan left and right. And we are going to start out by tracing it. So we want to make sure our fill color is off and our stroke color. I'm going to move it up to like 2 and I'm going to bring it to like a green just so it's easier to see. Not that it's going to stay green at the end, but so now this one's nice and smooth. That's why we start out with it. We're only going to click on transition points. So exactly where it transitions. And I know it looks kind of funny, and the more you use it, the better you'll get at it. But we're doing really careful to get those transition points right in the correct location. And then we're going to bend everything. So we got it all locked together. Now I'm going to hold down the Alt key, and I'm going to start bending this. So I'm holding down the Alt key the whole time. I can grab the handles or I can grab the line. Scrolling up, bend it up. This one's a little bit tricky, but I think we can get it. With 2 points here, so I'm dragging it over, drag it up here. Remember, I'm scrolling up and down, and I'm holding down Alt to get it in the correct spot here. So it looks like I can get it pretty close. We're not going to nitpick this little spot quite yet. Later on, we're definitely going to nitpick it, but right now we're not going to. This is an easy one. Maybe the most difficult one that you've done so far, but it is considered pretty darn simple once you get used to making them. So we're getting everything nice and pretty up here. There we go. Drag this out here. And make it look a little nicer. Hold down the space bar to do that panning. Now, obviously, I'm going pretty fast. I've done this a bunch. If it's too fast for you, make sure to pause, rewind, whatever you have to do. So there is our outline. We have our outline done. And I'm going to name that by double-clicking and name it outline. And it would help if I put right words in there. All right, so there we go. There's our outline. Add a new layer on top. And you know what? Just for safety's sake, at the beginning, we're going to lock that outline layer so we don't accidentally touch it. So I just locked it right here. You can turn it off or turn it on. You can leave it on if it's locked. You can't grab it or do anything to it. So it's all good. So now we're on this layer 3. And we're going to make the head. Let's make the bottom here. So this is an easy one. The reason we do it is it's got that thick, dark line here, and we're actually making a black background, and then we're going to trace everything and put that on top of it. So it's a pretty simple one. So again, use my same things. I'm going to go point to point. So here's a point, space bar to pan over. There's a point. There's a point. Now you can see this gets a little bit confusing, so I'm going to bend this one. And you can bend these as you go. Some people like to bend them as you go. Some people like to put the points in and go. Now this is a circle here. So to get a circle, you need to have a point here and there. And that lets us bend this up to match it here. And one thing, so you don't get a weird little bump here, you can kind of see a kind of a bump where it kind of not a smooth line here. If I click this, you can see that other handle shows up. It's green is the handle that shows up down here. If you line these up so they're in line with each other, you don't get a weird bump. So if they're not in line, it gives you this weird thing. But if the handles are aligned, the more they're aligned, the better and smoother the transition is. All right, so down. I'm not going to put that round over in there. Again, this is an easy one. We're going to do things easy here. This one, you can see it goes straight here, so I'm going to lock it at that point right there. Then I'm going to go straight up. Bring it right over here. Zoom is your friend. Lock it there. This one can come over here. We're pretending that those are nice hard lines. This one goes right up to there. This one goes over to here. And this one goes right to there. So now we can go through and we can start bending these lines. Again, if I'm going too fast, you can slow down. If you understand how to do this part on your own, feel free to just kind of do it on your own. Don't be doing stuff if you don't need to. So I got this handle nice and in line. With that straight line, makes it look nicer. Pull this handle so it's in line with that. Pull this handle so it's in line there. Those are some nice smooth transition points. And this one, we're going to do the same thing. I want it nice and vertical. See how that line showed up? It makes it look a little bit nicer. So I definitely need to pull it down a little further. There we go. All right, pull that one. That one's already done. We can see if our lines, that was pretty good. Last couple here. We got this one, the big one. This one, pull up here. Again, I'm scrolling. I'm using that Alt key and my scroll to make this happen. See, this is kind of a weird little bump right there. You can see how it looks weird little bump. I'm gonna pull this handle so it lines up better with that one. There we go. And finish this one off here. There we go. So there's his body. Now I'm going to make his head on the same one because they're not touching each other, so I'm not too concerned. So feel free if you want to fast forward through this part. It's just going to be me drawing its head. This is a little bit tricky. This ear part right here is a little bit tricky. So you might need to see that. But again, you might not do. So I think we can make that bend. And you can hit Control Z and like where that one was placed. I think it looks better here. Here. This is definitely a straight line going up here. This one, I'm pretty sure we cannot make this bend. I can probably get to here. And then I can probably get to there and there. And I can probably get to here. And if that isn't enough to confuse where these lines go, this one goes on top. This one goes on bottom. This one comes over here. Look at that. All right, so let's get this straightened out before I get any more confused on where things are supposed to go. And that has that weird little lump there. I don't even know if you're supposed to have a lump there. Let me look at it. Yeah, it's supposed to be a pretty smooth transition, it looks like. Try to smooth it out by bending that a little bit. I kind of smoothed it out just a little bit. It ain't perfect, but it's got it. Definitely got a little bit smoother there. Get these ones all straightened out here. You'll have to come back and we'll look at them a little bit later, but we're getting them there. We're straightening them out. Get that handle straightened out there. This one straightened out there. That's looking pretty good. This one, that looks pretty darn solid there. I'm pretty happy with that. That looks good. See that I'm bending these right now. I'm kind of in the bending mood right now. Try to make this ear. This is a pretty tall ear here. It's pretty doable. Ain't bad. Remember, the more difficult ones will start making it a little bit more perfect. And this one, I do not think I can get all the way around, so I'm going to do a half point and a half point. I mean, maybe you can. I just don't think I can do it. Some people can do it. I can't. Right? I don't want to spend the time trying to do it right now. So I'm going to make sure that these kind of line up, and you'll see what we got to do to get these things to line up here. As you can see, these ones, oh, we got to get them pointed. Get that real nice smooth transition. Just getting there. And this one. Pull this thing down a little bit. Well, I just can't make that bend there. See, I just can't make that bend. So now I'm going to scroll in and I'm going to use, see a plus sign shows up in that pen tool, and I'm going to hold an Alt. I'm going to click on that. Then I'm going to grab this direct selection tool, the white one. I can grab that anchor and I can pull this anchor right down here. So it gives me a little extra node there that I can work with. So now I can get that to bend correctly. It might have been better if I went from here to this point right here and didn't have this path there. We can try that. I can do a plus sign here and I can do a minus sign here. See, when I scroll over, it goes to minus. Then I can go to that direct selection tool and I can see if I can get it to work here. That looks better. That's much smoother. There we go. So there we go. So we got that part done. So I'm going to make new layers as an outline. This is body head. I'm going to lock those right now. And let's see here. We'll do this one. We'll do the face here. We'll do the whole face on one layer. Here's my face. So first thing I can see here is these are circles. So I'm going to use my ellipse tool, put it right in the center here, hold down Shift and Alt. Shift and Alt, and drag it out. That looks great. You have the selection tool, hold down Alt, make a copy of it, put it over there. There we go. All right, next part. This looks like a pill almost. That's actually a rounded rectangle tool. So if you can pull something out that kind of looks like that. And then we can use the selection tool and just kind of bend it and put it in the right spot. Excuse me. And we can bend it and squish it around. If we need to pull it, we can pull it. That looks pretty good. All right, these ones right here. This looks like a job for the pen tool. And we're just going to all of our straight points, and then we'll bend these in to make them look pretty. Remember, if it looks wonky like this one, if you straighten it out and pull it in line with your other line, it'll take those weird wonky parts out of it. So straighten it out, see it's in line with that. Pull this one in line with that. There we go, that looks great. All right, now this one is kind of funky wonky. We're going to try it. So we're going to go to all of our points here. See if we can make this shape. This kind of a funky shape here. I don't know if we can do it, but that's how I do it. We'll see how it pulls out here. Maybe we should put some awesome music in here. I'm just pulling handles and no one wants to listen to me talk anymore. There we go. Here. Pull some handles. Now I'm working on a pretty big screen here, so I can see pretty decent, but again, zoom to your friend. Definitely lets you see where your handles are at, makes them look nice and pretty. Ooh, that one pulled pretty nice there. That one pulled pretty nice there. Now I just gotta straighten these handles out so they get in line with this piece up top. I think that looks pretty great. All right, so now we just gotta do the mouth here. This one has very nice defined areas here. I really appreciate those ones. And this one down, and this one down. That's looking good. There we go. We got the face done. Now we got to do this little tongue here. All right, so this is going to be a shape building one. So watch this. So we're going to start out here. I'm going to bend this up to make that shape. And then all I have to do is just finish the shape off. All right. Now I'm going to select, hold down Shift and select that. So I have both of these selected. I held down Shift and selected both of those. Now when I take my shape builder, if I hold down Alt, I get a minus sign, and I hold down the left click and drag it over and touches it. That deletes it. Now I have the tongue, and I still have the mouth. All right, so you want to make sure you have the tongue. See, it goes all the way around, and still the mouth. If you don't have that, rewind, try it again. Make sure you're watching really carefully on what's happening. All right. So now we just have the little white parts left. We'll be good to go. We'll lock that, and I'm going to make a copy of the body because we need to do that same thing, shape build for these hands, but we don't want to destroy anything. Yeah, we should be able to do it like this. We can do it. We'll go on to the body right now, and we'll put those hands on. So the same thing as we just did. We got to be on the body. Click straight line going through, and now we're just going to connect. The line only crosses where we need it though. So then I hold down Shift, so I have this selected and that. Shape build, hold down. Oh, you see I have too much stuff selected here. I don't want to drag through that. I don't want to drag through this part. So I'm going to hold down Alt. I'm going to touch it right there. Click. Now I should have a hand. And I still should have this. So you can see that it's still lined up there. It's a little difficult to see because the line is green. So now there's a magenta line. You can see that line. You can see that line. There we go. All right, let's go over and get this hand. So we'll go straight through it. Connect around. hold down Shift, they're both selected. Shape Builder, hold down Alt, hold down left click and drag through. And we should have a hand and everything else still. There we go. That looks great. So we might as well put this ear on the body still too. Nothing fancy with this one. This one's just straight tracing. I do not think I can make that ear in one foul swoop. So I'm going to do it in 2 pieces here. And then I'm just going to make sure that everything lines up nice and pretty like, so I get a nice smooth transition. All right, the last thing we need to do, we'll unlock all these things, and we're going to need to color this to see if we got it. We always color from the top, so we have everything unlocked. So we're going to start with the face, because the face is on top, and we just move down. So here we go. The tongue is the first thing, and I'm going to use different colors so we can see things. So I am going to make the pink. Yeah, I'll do it this pink right here. There we go. And then I want to do the mouth. And that's going to be red. I'll use this red. Oh, that's not the fill color. I want the fill color to be red. There we go. You can see the stroke colors are still that. We're going to fix that at the end. So this, I'm going to highlight all these ones. I'm going to highlight the eyes, the eyebrows, and the mouth at the same time. And that is black. There we go. We have the pink ear, or the white part of the ears, white part of the hand, and the other white part of the hand. I'm going to use like an off-white, just so I can see a little bit better. There we go. Now I have the head and the body. It's going to be an interesting pink color, so maybe I'll do an orange color. Doesn't really matter. Later on, I'll show you how to do exact colors. But right now, we're just picking swatches up here. All right, and the last thing we're going to do is we're going to select this. This is our black background. And there we go. So I'm going to scroll out. I'm going to highlight this whole thing. I'm going to change all the stroke colors to black. And I'm going to bump them up to like 1 point. And there you go. Now, I'm pretty sure that there's no stroke supposed to be in that tongue, but if I highlight this whole thing, drag it off to the side, I'll be able to see. So yeah, there's not supposed to be a stroke color on the hands. So there's actually not supposed to be any stroke colors on any of these. So I can take this, turn the stroke to off. And there we go. It looks fantastic. We have done it. Now let's get the colors right. You know what? Why not get the colors right? We know black is right. We don't need to go from front to back anymore because we'll be able to see all of our parts and pieces here. I'm going to highlight the body and the face. And then if I want the exact same color, I'm going to go over to this eyedropper tool. Click on the color I want. Boom, there's the color. All right, so let's try that with the mouth. Go over here, click on the color I want. Got it. The last thing, the tongue. Eyedropper tool, click on the color I want. Got it. There we go. Now we have a vectorized image. So here's a zoom in of not vector image. Here's a zoom in of vector image. How awesome and clean is that? It's fantastic. All right, make sure to save this, and in the next one, we'll pull it apart for the laser.